Brooklyn, New York, the Barclays Center, home of the Brooklyn Nets. On June 27th, the site will host one of the biggest boxing fights in 2026.
That's cool.
What up, baby?
That's cool. That's cool. Yeah, that boy, he was trying to talk about me. I don't know. These guys, this is what I be telling these media, y'all media guys be pushing this narrative that I be getting hit all crazy, this, that, and the third. But if you watch these guys,
black, red, yellow, white, sprint.
we out here in the rain. Check it out though. We out here in the rain working. Let's get it, easy money. Let's go. Come on, A.
Come on.
Let's go.
Just to catch a body.
Yes, sir.
Just to catch a body.
You already know. Justin, please do not fall. Don't fall, bro.
He expects you to run with him the whole time.
I'm not running.
No,
Yeah, you gotta run with him the whole time, bro. You're part of the team.
No.
You're part of the team. You gotta run.
Fall, bro.
Come on, man. I'm just playing.
We are joined now by the Ring Magazine #5 ranked junior middleweight in the world, the former Ring Magazine welterweight champion, and a guy who really has been tagged for a while now as boxing's next big thing, Philadelphia's own Jaron Boots Ennis. You and Xander Zayas in Brooklyn this summer, man. I was surprised he chose to fight you.
He ain't choose to fight me. I told Eddie and them to go get him. After, negotiations or whatever fell through with, Ortiz and things like that. I told Eddie and my team, I'm like, yo, go, make sure y'all go get Zayas next for me if we can't get, the Ortiz situation. And that's what they did for me. But I appreciate him for accepting the fight, because he didn't have to take this fight. He could have forced somebody else.
And maybe he can find the openings, the cracks in Boots' game and exploit them. But I think right now, Ennis is a dynamic, special talent.
He can win. That's the craziest thing. I'm talking to people, and they're like, I think Boots is too confident. I think Boots thinks he's going to walk over this kid. I'm like, stylistically, it's a really tough fight for Boots. I've never seen Boots really close the distance on a guy who can move and is going to punch.
I hope both these guys get the credit that they deserve after the fight. I hope Zayas gets credit for beating Boots. And if Boots beats Zayas, I hope we're not saying, oh, Zayas was...
He wasn't supposed to be ready for this one. Too soft, they said. But there's a particular fire every fighter carries through those ropes, and Boots Ennis insists his has nothing to do with simply clocking in and going through the motions. The way he frames it, what he's bringing isn't the energy of a man trying to survive or play it safe. It's the energy of a man looking to end someone. That hunger, that exact frame of mind, sets the table for everything we're about to dig into tonight.
Take the opportunity. With a win, you're a superstar. He has a lot more to gain. It's risk versus reward. It's a very, very rewarding fight.
Right now, Puerto Rico got 4 unified world champions. A lot of people who say you the face of Puerto Rican boxing, so I gotta ask you straight up, do you feel like you the face of Puerto Rican boxing?
I don't think about it. Like you said, we have 4 unified world champions. The only country in the world that has all champions as unified world champions.
Here's where things stand. Jaron Ennis is moving up to 154 pounds, cracking open a fresh chapter of his career and hunting world titles in a brand new division. Waiting on the other side is Xander Zayas, a fighter who's every bit as ready, every bit as hungry to guard what's his and prove he belongs at the summit of this weight class. All through the build-up, Ennis left no room for doubt that he's completely dialed in for Saturday night, promising the kind of outing that makes a statement. He's calm, he's precise, and he's chasing the type of finish that lands on every highlight package. Ennis even reflected on trading rounds with Canelo Alvarez in the gym, describing it as a revelation that genuinely tightened his game and widened his toolbox. And to be clear, for him this is bigger than just walking out with a win. It's about settling the question of whether he truly stands among the very best.
Feeling great, feeling tremendous. Ready to rock and roll, can't wait, ready to put on a beautiful show and bring home this big knockout.
How does Xander compare to, how is he different from some of your past opponents?
Every fighter different. Everybody got their own style and their own abilities. And on Saturday night, we're gonna be victorious and do what I do and get that win.
And talk about sparring Canelo. Yeah. Just what did you learn about yourself? What did you learn about him in that sparring?
Taking sparring Canelo it was a great thing. He 70 fights in, and I was just picking his brain, stealing different things, and putting it into my arsenal, and it was a great experience.
Yet underneath all the forecasting and the swagger, Ennis hammered home one more idea. His attention never drifts from what's directly ahead of him. He isn't peeking past Zayas, isn't getting carried off by the noise swirling around the event. Nothing like that. Every ounce of his focus belongs to the man waiting on the opposite side of the canvas. Because for Boots, the victory is the only currency that counts. And on top of that, he's fully planning to look sharp while he collects it.
What do you think fight fans are going to see this Saturday night?
Well, first of all, I want to say thank you for having me. Appreciate you for having me. But on this Saturday, everybody gonna see a explosive performance by me, Jaron Boots Ennis, and put on a beautiful show, and come home with the victory and bring it back home to unified titles to Philadelphia, the WBO and the WBA. Nah, my mind says on task at hand and what's in front of me, and that's my opponent, and I will get him up out of here and look good and keep doing what I'm doing, and that's winning.
And when you sit with it, for Ennis, this contest carries far more weight than just another date circled on the schedule. It's a rare doorway, a genuine shot at locking in his spot among boxing's upper tier. Beating Zayas would wrap 2 more world titles around his waist and tighten his hold on the entire division. And the part to remember is that he has no intention of stalling there. Not for a second. Ennis spelled it out plainly. The moment Saturday night becomes history, his aim is to pull the whole 154-pound class together and welcome anyone gutsy enough to share the ring with him.
Do you feel in any way you need a signature victory to shut down the critics? And would he be that signature win?
This will definitely be my signature victory for me, because I will put on a beautiful show, get a knockout and come back home with two belts, to be the new unified WBO, WBA Super RJ champion of the world.
I notice he also believes that you're straying into complacency. Are you treating him like an absolute equal on Saturday night?
He got 2 belts, he got what I want, and I'm going to take it. So, yeah, that's the best part, and that's going to be the most funnest part, because he got what I want, and I'm taking him, Saturday night, and this is my night. It's my night to show out and have fun.
Now, Ennis might be the bookmaker's choice, but not everyone is filing this away as already decided. Simon Jordan delivered a far cooler, more careful read on the entire pairing. He framed Ennis as a genuinely elite operator. That part isn't up for argument, yet he handed real respect to Xander Zayas simply for agreeing to a fight this perilous in the first place. Jordan cautioned the whole room against treating the night as a sure thing, reminding everybody that climbing through the ropes against someone like Ennis is a gamble that hardly any champion is actually prepared to make.
Isn't he?
Yeah, he's a very good fighter, and it's a false comparison to compare him with Terence Crawford at this stage, because Terence Crawford was a 3-weight undisputed champion. He won a vacated belt, defended it a couple of times against reasonable opposition, and has now stepped up to light middleweight. You have to give Zayas a huge amount of credit. He has enormous balls. This is a voluntary defense. This is probably the most difficult defense in the weight class, and Zayas has taken it on as a voluntary. Eddie and their guys have had to make this fight for Jaron, because contractually they want him in a certain position. I'd like to see him fight Josh Kelly. I think that's a good fight too. But he is an elite fighter. He is absolutely an elite fighter. And of course Zayas is sitting there as the champion, watching all the noise be about Boots Ennis and how he's going to do this and how he's going to do that. It's going to be a very good fight. And clearly the defining fights would have been Terence Crawford or Errol Spence. Those fights have evaded him for a variety of different reasons. And then when you start beating those kind of opponents, then you start making claims. But everybody in and around boxing that really knows their stuff, and I was having this conversation with Paul Smith yesterday, and Sam Jones and Adam Smith, and they're all of the mindset that irrespective of whether he's had the reputation of defining fights against opposition, Lima and Avanesian are good fights, but they're not the reputation of defining ones.
Yeah.
This guy, and I think they're right, has all the ability to be an elite fighter. It'll be fascinating to see him go through weight classes. He's gone from welter, he's out light middle. Can he go up to middleweight? What looks like in that division? Can he go through the different divisions? But there's no doubt this is going to be a good fight.
So what's the blueprint for Zayas to make this happen? Circling back to his own method, he singled out his composure, his fight intelligence, and his command of range as the weapons set to tip the balance in there. He's genuinely convinced his technical approach can pry open cracks in Ennis's work, especially around the footwork and the way he protects the body. Zayas underlined that staying disciplined and making sharp adjustments across the full 12 is going to be absolutely essential. And despite the mountain of stakes resting on the outcome, his attention sits exactly where it should, on getting past Ennis first. Because to his way of thinking, a result like that would plant him firmly among the sport's elite.
And I feel like my patience, my jab, understanding my distance, I feel like I'm very good at that. And and knowing when to pick a fight, knowing when to box, knowing when to fight. I feel like he's very good at, you know, with chaos, when the crowd is erupting, when the crowd is going crazy. He's very good at that. He lived for those moments. When you don't give him that, it's hard for him. It's hard for him.
Biggest weakness you think in this fight for Boots Ennis?
Man, his feet. He's flat-footed. He's flat-footed, and body. He doesn't like the body that much. So we'll see how that goes.
Eddie Hearn, for his part, left no doubt that he holds nothing but admiration for Xander Zayas and his choice to sign for this. He even confessed it still throws him a little that a 23-year-old on the rise would deliberately pick the scariest man in the weight class over a far gentler path. Hearn applauded Zayas for putting himself out there like this, branding it precisely the brand of courage the sport is crying out for at the moment. He said that if Zayas somehow walks away with the result, he'll drop to his knees and hail him the young ruler of the entire game. But there's a snag. Hearn just can't picture it landing that way. He's betting on Jaron Ennis claiming that crown, and claiming it savagely.
Danioni's fight was amazing. We paid up, we got the fight, but we needed to deliver a big fight, and we did it in big style. But you have to respect Xander. Like, I'm sitting here today, you know, we were talking off camera. I'm still a little bit nervous and confused as to why this guy's taking the fight and how he's so confident. And you got to give him unbelievable props. He's 23. He's a superstar of boxing. He could have fought anybody, but he chose, in my opinion, the best and most dangerous guy in the division to prove he's the best. Hats off, Mr. Zayas. This is what we need in boxing. And by the way, if you win, I'll bow down to you in that ring and I'll say you are the new young king of boxing. But I don't think so. I think you're going to see the new king of boxing being Jaron Boots Ennis, and I think you're going to see it in the most devastating fashion.
Oscar De La Hoya then offered his thoughts, and he came loaded with serious praise for Jaron Ennis, branding him an uncommon fusion of athleticism, aggression, and clean ring craft. He painted Boots as a fighter who's forever advancing, piling on unrelenting pressure without surrendering a single step, all while leaning on that tight Philly shell and the detonating power he's famous for. In De La Hoya's eyes, it's Ennis's smooth movement married to his offensive imagination that stamps him as one of the single hardest fighters in the whole sport to scheme against.
So Boots versus Zayas, a match of styles, a match of heart, a match of will and power and speed. You take a look at Boots and he dances in the ring, but he doesn't move going backwards. He moves going forward with his relentless style, his Philly shell, his relentless punching power. I believe that Zayas, if there's one fighter who can break that Philly style, it is Zayas. He has the reach, the height, the power, the strength, but it takes more than just power and strength. It takes intelligence. This fight is gonna be a barn burner. It's gonna be a great fight.
Then you've got Ben Whitaker, who's lined up to feature on the undercard over in Brooklyn. He nodded to the clear ability sitting in both Zayas and Ennis, but he was upfront that he isn't letting himself get tangled in the back and forth. His head stays fixed on his own job before anything else, and only after that can he kick back, breathe out, and properly soak in the main event later that evening.
Great fight, man. Made the best man win. I like Boots' style though, personally.
You said you got a similar style. Did you see that?
Yeah, I saw it, man. It was a compliment.
Yeah.
A compliment. What he's done in the sport. He's a great fighter. He's exciting. But like I said, made the best man win. It's going to be a good fight, both in the primes. It's going to be exciting to see it. When you got...
I got edge towards Boots.
Sean Porter laid out a genuinely thorough dissection of the Ennis and Zayas clash, and he stressed that this fight runs far deeper than lining up talent and athletic gifts side by side on paper. Sure, he tipped his cap to Boots' uncommon explosiveness, that crisp hand speed and his knack for stitching together combinations most fighters simply can't replicate. But Porter was fast to flag something that matters. Zayas has no business being slept on in the speed column either. He's got nimble feet, sharp reflexes, and the kind of timing that lets him fire his offense before the other guy ever finds a rhythm. So for Porter, the night hinges on who can stamp their own pace on it and deliver under fire, not just who looks slicker on paper.
one punch fast and he's three punch fast. He's combination fast too. But Xander ain't slow. So there's the opportunity,
especially on his feet.
There's the opportunity of Boots just kind of having his head out there, and Xander, flicking that jab out there and catching him with it.
Not loading up.
Flicking the double jab and catching him with that. You know what I mean? Doing something to force Boots to move his feet. You know what I mean? But the funniest thing about with Boots is that rhyme and that reason. He will turn your rhyme into his reason. He will turn your reason into his rhyme. You know what I mean? And what I mean by that is, for me, a double jab right hand is to push you back to the ropes, and then I go to the body, I get to work. He's gonna take two or three steps back, and then he's gonna find what do I do here? It's the uppercut, it's the slide out, it's the return with the right hand left hook. He got so many different things, and instinctively I've seen him able to call on those things.
Porter also dug into the stylistic riddle Ennis poses once the bell sounds, and it's a captivating point. He explained that Boots doesn't operate like your textbook counterpuncher, yet he doesn't slot neatly into the all-action pressure mold either. He lives somewhere right between those two, capable of flipping roles in the middle of an exchange and leaving his opponents permanently second-guessing. And that brand of unpredictability, Porter argued, is exactly what turns him into such a headache to draw up a plan for.
Certain little things that were off that Xander may think he's seen, probably enjoy watching that, because you're more than likely not going to see that on fight night. But to that point, Boots is great. Funny enough, he's a lot like Terrence. He's a counterpuncher because he has that fast twitch fiber in his body that makes him a counterpuncher, but he can also lead off whenever he wants to. Which one is he better in? That's a great question. It's been masked. I don't know if we know which one he's better.
It's funny, the counterpunching is punctuating, right? It's punctuating the exchange, but him in particular, I just think of him, he is a great counterpuncher, but I think of him as a punctuator.
And the way Porter tells it, that adaptability is the very thing that makes Ennis so threatening. He can smother an opponent's offense and manufacture his own chances in a single motion, landing damaging shots before the other man even gets a chance to gather himself. That cocktail of athleticism, instinct, and flexibility, Porter is convinced, is what hands Boots a genuine advantage as he walks into the biggest night of his entire career.
I'm going to venture to say he's more of a counterpuncher than he is a leadoff hitter. But to that point, if Xander, I'm kind of like confirming what Xander's saying. Usually a counterpuncher isn't good moving forward, isn't good, being first. Those are counterpunchers struggle heavy with those components in the fight. He doesn't struggle with it, but it still could be for Xander. His job is to really study you.
Brian Norman Jr. tossed in his view on the matchup too, and he's bracing for flat-out war once these two finally collide. He figures Zayas will carry himself the way a real champion does, fully aware of what's on the line and unwilling to give an inch. But across from him, Norman sees a starving Ennis, a man who's been ducked for far too long and is now itching to make a loud statement. For Norman, the whole thing boils down to pride, legacy, and settling once and for all who truly belongs at the top of this division.
And it's about to be a cold one. I can definitely tell you that. It's about to be a cold one. You got the champion, Xander Zayas, and of course, he ain't finna give it up easy. Yeah. And then you got Jaron Boosie.
Just go.
Yeah, on the other end, you got Jaron Ennis, who coming in hungry. He got to prove himself. He trying to show everybody I am the one. I'm the one y'all supposed to be watching out for. I'm the one that everybody was ducking and dodging. I'm the one that's going to take over the whole game. So it's a whole bunch of battle of personalities, battle of ego, and battle of pride. And then it's also in Brooklyn, and I believe that's where Xander Zayas is like to fight the most. Yeah. So it's too much. It's going to be a hot one, and you best believe I'm watching.
From where Ronnie Shields is sitting, this one shapes up as a tight affair that runs the full 12. In the end, he's leaning toward Boots Ennis getting the nod, and that lands on his experience and his knack for flipping stances, a wrinkle that could genuinely throw off Zayas' timing inside the ropes. Shields reckons Ennis has simply shared the ring with rougher company so far, and that mileage figures to be decisive in what he reads as a close fight. Still, he was quick to note that Zayas earned every belt he owns, which tells you this is shaping into a real test for both men.
I think it's going to be a great fight, actually. And a lot of people don't think so, but I do. I'm leaning toward Boots to win, but I think it's going to be a great fight.
Why are you picking Boots to win?
Well, because, Boots probably, with the experience that Boots has, and with him able to switch from orthodox to lefty, I think that's going to maybe confuse Zayas a little bit. But look, I think it's going to be a tough fight, but I still think Boots, with the experience he has, I really think he fought the better fighters, I believe. And so I think that's going to really help him in the end.
You think it'll go all 12? You think it'll be a quick night for...
No, I really think it'll go 12.
It's going to go all 12?
No, I think look, Xander is a champion for nothing.
Yeah.
They didn't just give Xander the belt.
Yeah.
Xander won the belt. And, and he's a great fighter.
Shields also zeroed in on the height and reach edge that Xander Zayas drags into the ring as something that could keep this fight tighter than plenty of folks anticipate. He's convinced those physical tools will produce several slim, hotly contested rounds, with both men carving out their moments out there. Even so, Shields still figures Boots Ennis eventually solves the puzzle and squeaks out the win, though he wouldn't go as far as calling for an actual stoppage.
Do you think maybe, the height, obviously Zayas is a little bit more bigger than Boots. You think also play a factor?
That's what really play a factor. That's what I'm saying. That's why I feel we're going to have a lot of close rounds. But I think Boots is going to figure it out. I don't see a knockout in this fight, but I really think it's going to be a close fight. But I think a lot of rounds are going to be close, but I just think Boots is going to edge it out.
Pushing on, Sean Zittel is backing Jaron Ennis to take it on the cards, with a knockdown possibly thrown in along the way. He's anticipating a genuinely competitive scrap, but he reckons Ennis will do just enough to bank the decision. And Zittel was clear about one more thing. If Xander Zayas somehow engineers a win here, he instantly rockets into the conversation as one of the absolute biggest names in all of boxing.
Right now, I'm picking right now Jaron Ennis by decision, but honestly, this is one I just want to see play out and see what we get. But yeah, I gotta give the edge to Ennis by decision right now. Maybe a knockdown along the way, 116, 111, something like that. But if Zayas pulls this off, a star is born. He'll instantly become one of the top 5 or so biggest stars in boxing. So that's my reasoning for it.
Roy Jones Jr. handed Xander Zayas plenty of love for his ability. But when it came down to it, he leaned toward Jaron Ennis, and it hinged on the experience gulf separating the pair. He brought up watching Zayas get hurt in an earlier outing, and he's convinced Ennis packs the kind of pop that could drag him straight back into that danger zone. Jones wouldn't commit to a hard call, yet he sensed Ennis's hours in the ring nudge him slightly ahead. He's bracing for a tight contest with both men enjoying their spells, but he pegs Ennis's experience as the swing factor. For Jones, the fight has every ingredient of a thriller, but the lean tilts toward the man who's already walked this road.
Because I've seen Xander, and Xander is pretty good. Intangible-wise, I don't know that he can do everything Boots can do because Boots does have a lot of intangibles that Boots can do. I've seen him do a few more because he's been around a bit longer than Xander. But Xander's got to know how to make a adjustment. So that being said, we'll have to see what happens. I don't know who will win the fight. The intangibles do lean toward Boots to me, but Xander's a hell of a fighter, a hell of a champion, and I've seen him in the action up close when I had Slava fight him, and he gave Slava a pretty good, he made a good adjustment on Slava and came back and beat Slava, but Slava did hurt him early, but you never can tell. So does Boots have that kind of power? I think so, yes. Does Boots have boxing skills? I know that for a fact. So I think it's going to be just a great fight, and I can't wait to see who wins.
Emiliano Vargas carried real respect for Xander Zayas, applauding him for laying his titles on the table against Jaron Ennis and labeling it a daring play from a fighter reaching for greatness. He owned up to actually pulling for Zayas and truly wanting to watch him come through. But he didn't bother masking his own hunger one bit. He's aiming to hijack the spotlight and overshadow the whole bill come fight night. Because in Vargas's mind, this is the moment he's been holding out for.
Yeah, I mean, my hat goes off to Xander. I mean, he's putting his 2 belts on the line. Boots is all, reward, not really risk. I mean, I feel like Xander has everything to lose, but he also wants to dare to be great. So I'm proud of him, and I'm a winner. I want to see him win. So, yeah, crazy experience. Obviously, now we're headlining in New York, and you know, I couldn't be more happy for him and for myself as well.
So everything is now firmly in place for a true meeting of champions at the Barclays Center. Xander Zayas has banked a heap of respect for being bold enough to confront the most dangerous fighter in his weight class, while Jaron Ennis is hell-bent on showing he's the man to topple at 154 pounds. The pundits are sliced clean down the middle, their calls stretching from hairline decisions all the way to flat-out brutal knockouts. And both men have vowed to empty everything they've got onto that canvas. And once that opening bell finally sounds, every bit of the talk, every scrap of the debate, all of it goes quiet. Only one fighter strolls out of there holding the unified titles, and the other will carry the lessons of a brutal night with him for the rest of his career. If this breakdown did it for you, do me a solid and hit that like button and subscribe. We'll keep you locked in on every single beat of this enormous showdown.